joined the board, I met with everyone, and I asked, give me feedback. I'm open to feedback. I want to be a competent, good board member. And I have gotten some feedback, some directly, some indirectly. And I want to first kind of write a last meeting. I made a statement that said do more with less. And the context of that statement was really about housing offices in a certain building without doing renovations for now. But the way the statement was presented was if I was telling the district and the teachers to do more with less, which is not what my intended message was. So without that context, it sounded very harsh and it sounded like almost accusatory, and that was not my intention. I know our district and our staff work really hard within the resources that the community allots to make sure that our students have the best learning environment possible. And I did apologize to Diane and Todd almost immediately, probably the next morning after that reflection. And I just want to say that I will probably make some errors and some gaffes, right? But I will apologize and I will take ownership for that. And so to everyone who participates or listens to this meeting and heard that comment and had some concerns, it was a mistake on my part, and it will be a learning experience. Moving on, if I joined the board, I was currently serving on the City of Marysville's Planning Commission. And I've recently resigned, but during this process, there are some things that, as a board, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts. Again, when I first joined the board, I said, hey, growth is one of our biggest opportunities and challenges from the district. I kind of want to be a bridge between the city and the district. When I was even applying for planning commission or for the school board appointment, I made a call to Terry Emery and Tim Asnier, the city law director, to see if there was a compatibility issue or a potential conflict of interest. They researched and provided attorney general opinions, and it was deemed that there is no, I can serve in both roles. And if there was an agenda item that could present a conflict of interest, I could consult with the city law director and recuse myself from that vote and not participate in the conversations. And I did communicate that to Diane shortly after my appointment, and saying I intend to serve in both roles because there's nothing prohibiting me from doing that. Months went by, and I didn't receive any feedback, negative or positive, either way. I did try to continue to make sure information was going to our superintendent and Todd, because I was doing, really beforehand, I wanted to make sure that our developers had those conversations, because growth is important, and you can't predict, you can't plan for the future if you don't know what's being developed, right? And so I took that, that was the role I played. Then there was the Kroger TIF, and there was a council member who serves on the advisory role of the Treasurer's Finance Committee. It's an advisory role, recused himself from a vote about the TIF because we sent a statement. And I was at the meeting. I was at the city council meeting when that happened. I talked to the city law director just to say, hey, can you walk me through how there was a need for a recusal here, and I'm good. And the statement I received, in summary, was that since there was an interest in the advisory role to make decisions and help guide Todd in his role to make decisions that are in the best interest of the district, and there's a negative financial impact on that agenda item, it was in best for the council member to recuse himself, and that's what he did. And then furthermore, if a district would take a position or there was some kind of financial interest, something that was attached to an agenda item that I would oversee it in my role in Planning Commission, that's would be an opportunity to recuse myself. I did speak with Diane the next day, following up with that conversation, and we decided together that we would get a legal opinion from our district just to check and make sure that what we're receiving, and I think I even forwarded the Attorney General opinions over that I received to Diane. In my view, I thought we had a call, and we did have a call, and I thought the matter was kind of settled, and just as I was doing, evaluate the votes, the applications that come before me. And it seemed like a couple months, but the first week of June, I received a legal opinion. And I received a legal opinion, and it said that there is no prohibition. Evaluate the vote, evaluate things that come before me. And in our correspondence with Sue, just Sue and Diane, I was given 3 options: resign from Planning Commission, resign from school board, or evaluate and seek legal consult on each individual item. I've already communicated, and I felt that I had legal consult with our city law director, because the city law director represents members of the Planning Commission, to make sure those procedures are in proper in order, and to answer any questions of a conflict of interest. There were several conversations between Sue and I, that we're asking about, how are you sure? Are you sure there is no conflict of interest? How are you sure that you can evaluate? And I believe we saw that issue differently. And so in the paper today, you saw that the quote was pressured to resign from Planning Commission, and I think that's accurate, even if it wasn't intended. Something that I do need to apologize for in this is the legal opinion. I shared it with my resignation, and it was labeled confidential. I viewed myself as the client because it wasn't board business, it wasn't shared with the board. I viewed myself as it was about me, not about anyone else in the district. That's how I viewed it. My view didn't matter. It was labeled confidential. And I shared the confidential document, and that goes against our code of ethics. And for that, I just, that was improper on my part. My personal views are my personal views, but without going through the proper procedure to give that document over, I do want to just be clear and transparent that did happen on my end. And for that, going against the policy, I do apologize. The issue of reaching out or speaking with the media, we do have a policy that says that only the board president speaks to the media on matters of the board. In my view, the issue was about me, not about the board members or the business of the board. It was about my role as a public servant on both Planning Commission and school board. And so I felt that I didn't conflict that, but I also didn't check. And I won't say I will apologize for that, because I think I did what I needed to do in trying to be transparent as a role of the public official, making sure everything that I have done to prevent appearance of a conflict of interest, I wanted that to be clear and transparent to the public. And I think that's the role of a public official, is to be accessible to the media. That's my personal view. Third, my last, that's that point. So that's kind of my view, and those are my thoughts on those things. We're moving on. I'm moving on, and my focus to build trust with the administration, to build trust with my board members and our staff, and I want to put that issue to bed, and I want to move on, because we have actual things that I need to be focused on that are about the district business, and that's kind of how I arrived to those decisions. I think that's all I want to share tonight. So.